Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello there, and welcome to episode 90 of 15 Minutes of Genius. We are 9/10 of the way there to episode 100. We have a very special guest also for episode 100, which we'll be releasing sometime after the show at some point. We don't know when. We're on the fly here over at 15 Minutes at Genius. So we have a great guest today. Known this guy for probably at least about 2 years. I love matcha, so I love it more than coffee. So this guy knows all about matcha. He's the matcha man. I'm sure that's not the first time someone's called him this. Before rolling into our guest, would like to make a plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N, at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. There he is. And there's his production manager. Is that the right term? Stage manager. I never get it right, man. Never get it right. What's the sweatshirt there? The college? Clemson. Okay, Clemson. Is that in the Midwest? Sounds Midwesty. Okay, I was close. Midwest, South Carolina, it's all kind of the same area of the country outside of California. I'm just kidding. That's a bad California, I'm in a bubble joke. All right. So, again, make sure to reach out to Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net if you like editing, video, photo, have your own podcast, and like to do it here at the studio. The studio is amazing. Yeah, there we go. So, little intro on my guest, Steve Odell. He's the co-founder and CEO of Tenzo Matcha. I feel it's one of the best matchas, if I would say not even one of, it's the best matcha on the market I've ever had, and the cleanest. Little intro, Tenzo is the Tesla, which is, I love Tesla, of drinks. Clean, green caffeine. They sell D2C to cafes across the country and create custom blends of matcha for the largest companies in the world. Steve, how's it going, my man?
Hey, Alex, how are you? Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Yeah, good to meet you virtually, face-to-face. We've spoken on the phone quite a few times, and here we are. The closest we'll get to face-to-face for a while, so we'll work with it.
Yeah, hey, we'll take it. Exactly.
We'll take it.
But we'll make the in-person happen one day soon, too.
Absolutely. You're in Santa Monica. I'm in Redondo. Yeah, so we'll definitely make it happen.
So close.
Yeah, it's too close. So let's get into, a lot of podcasts, we get into the stories, right, about how you created the brand, about the product. I'm really fascinated more about, I'm kind of steering it in this direction with the limited time we have, is about the supply chain, right? You have a great matcha product. What is a supply chain? How do you ensure quality? Your matcha is called, for D2C, the ceremonial matcha. Some people don't know what that means. Just tell us about matcha, the benefits. Why matcha?
Yeah, so I guess why matcha kind of leads into the benefits. So we'll just start there. We founded the company one day, or I guess a few months after, but I had this experience where I drank 5 cold brews in one day, and I was, super jittery, felt anxious, my stomach hurt bad. And I Googled what's the healthiest form of energy and found matcha. That's the reason, like you said a little before the podcast, why most people know matcha is because of the energy. And so it's got a little bit of caffeine, about 1/3 the amount of a cup of coffee. And it also has an amino acid called L-theanine, which is really good for focusing. So L-theanine literally changes your brainwaves from a beta state to an alpha state. So beta is your normal active, you're kind of doing things state throughout the day. And your alpha state is a more focused, calm state that typically occurs when you're in meditation or in a flow state. And then the last benefit, or the last key benefit of matcha, is it has a very high amount of antioxidants, which are very good for your body for a number of reasons. But last I checked, it had the highest amount of antioxidants per gram of any edible food or beverage. So those 3 key reasons, and I tried the product, loved it, and then realized that you can make it in lattes, and you can make it as a tea, and you can put it in smoothies, and you can bake with it. There's so many good uses for it. So that kind of culminated in, hey, we think this company can be really great, and, we love this product, and we want to bring it to the world.
I got to say that for me, my favorite combination, besides blending it with a genius smoothie, plug, no, I'm just kidding, is the matcha latte. Just having the almond milk in there, or hemp milk, or Oatly or whatever, or an oat milk, I should say. So out of all the sales that you do, let's say to coffee shops, is pretty much like a majority of it just for matcha lattes, or what's the big sale?
Yeah. Yeah, they crush matcha lattes. People love it. Just like you said, that's definitely the most common use case of anyone probably in the whole world at this point.
Love it. Love it. So ceremonial, what does it mean?
Yeah.
What makes it
Yeah.
special?
So,
Yeah.
right. So matcha is kind of like wine or like alcoholic whiskeys or vodkas. Like there's a very large spectrum of quality. And ceremonial really is just the classification for a very high quality matcha. It doesn't technically mean anything. Like there's no like USDA or FDA standard for that. It just means like the highest quality. And below that, you have like a premium grade, which would be typically for like a cafes, they'll mix into latte, and the taste kind of gets mixed with the oat milk. And at the bottom, you have a culinary grade that's typically used to bake with. And each grade has very different, flavor profiles. It has a different color. So there's ways to kind of point that out, but usually taste is the best one. If you just make a pure matcha, ceremonial grade is very smooth. It's not very like super bittery. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, because a lot of people, they see that on the back of a label, right, of a drink, and they see ceremonial, they don't know the difference. So it's good to know that. Let's get into, let me just go more into supply chain, because this fascinates me. Where is matcha grown? Where do you typically source it from? How hard was it to find the right farmers to get the quality that you're looking for, right? Because you don't want to get any old matcha. You want to get the top grade that tastes the best, is the best for you, no chemicals or pesticides. What was that journey of actually sourcing the matcha that you really wanted?
Yeah, so that was incredibly difficult. I mean, I didn't have any experience in food and beverage before we started. So literally the first product we ever sold was just from a guy that was private labeling in Arizona, and it tasted great. And he had a good spec sheet and stuff like that. And when we made enough money that we could afford to go to Japan, we ended up finding who that guy was buying it from, and then went to visit his supplier in Japan to try and go directly to them. And typically how it works, if you're a U.S. company, you're basically no one buys directly from like one farm. Typically you work with a partner in Japan who's going to work with several farmers, and then we're going to buy the matcha leaves from those farms. We're going to make it into tencha and then grind it into matcha. And then we're going to ship to the U.S. So we went to Japan. We're visiting the farms that the original guy, his supplier, owns and works with. And then on the last day, we were in the Kyoto train station, and this is the magic of Tenzo, the story. And I was Googling tea farms and shops nearby, and we found one. It was like a 30-minute train ride away. So we hop on the train. We're going there. We get there, and it's not a farm. It's just a tea shop. It's like a 70-year-old Japanese couple that's there. And I don't speak Japanese. My co-founder didn't speak any Japanese. So like Siri's on the phone, like translating, and we're like doing like sign language type things. And it didn't end up working. So now we're just in a random town in Japan, and we're trying to find like another farm. So we just start Google, and we're walking to the next one. About 10 minutes into that walk, a black car pulls up. It's an old man from the shop, and he just motions to us, "Get in my car." And so we did, naturally. And we had this crazy experience for the next several hours where we went around to a bunch of different tea farms. And then from there, that guy's boss ended up emailing us, and then we met with him, and he agreed to create a proprietary blend of matcha, which ended up becoming Tenzo, and he became our second largest investor. And the goal was really to try and win the matcha market in the U.S. and hopefully worldwide one day.
Wow, that is one of those stories that it's almost hard to believe. Like just the alignment of different things happening. The guy going to the shop and then having the owner pick you up and all that stuff. So you literally, full trust, you just hopped into this random black color car. Just boom, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Must have doing it on faith, man. Doing it on faith. But yeah, I've actually visited Kyoto, Tokyo. I took a trip in 2010, and I remember just feeling like I could trust everyone there. It's a unique experience.
Yeah.
Like if I was in like, rough neighborhoods, whether it's LA, Chicago, harder to do that. But in Japan, there's like, it's just a safer country and safer city. So it was fascinating when visiting there. So this person, they became the second largest, or at least the group, second largest investor, the source, proprietary. That's amazing. Let's shift. Let's shift into D2C. I want to make sure I get to this because we spoke offline that, you know, there's a good portion of your business, right, that is from D2C. Tell us more about, because matcha, people know it, but it requires education. Why is it better than coffee? Or why is it, you know, what are the benefits versus coffee? What is your online, for all the entrepreneurs watching that has a product that's probably competing with another major force, right? That, you know, that people buy both. What did you do for online advertising or to get people to your website or Amazon to buy your product? What went into that to build your online business?
Good question. I mean, it was a lot of testing. Like, let me be real, we definitely didn't have everything figured out when we first started. So yeah, I mean, we first optimized, like one thing I like to think about a lot in CPG is optimizing product channel fit. And what I mean by that is like, you wouldn't launch the same product on your D2C store that you do on Amazon or that you necessarily would do in retail. You wouldn't necessarily sell the same product to Whole Foods as you would Costco, you know, and so every place you're selling, optimizing for that product. And so we tested a lot of different pack sizes, sizing, different bundle offers and things like that. And then we optimized for 1, unit economics, and 2, retention and LTV. Once we had those 2 things down, we really started pushing aggressively into paid media. And so what I mean by that is like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snap, Pinterest, obviously Google as well.
Let me jump in. Hey Steve, let me jump in. So what kind of media did you do that really worked? Like, what did you show? Was it images? Was it animated GIFs? Was it videos? Like, what really kind of turned the corner to get people to go from seeing the ad to converting to customers through your website?
It's both. I mean, it's all of the above. So it's definitely not like, oh, like, is it video or is it an image? Like, they both work and they're both necessary to run a successful, you know, media campaign. You know, you add on some UGC, you add on GIFs, and now we work with, I mean, hundreds of creators, you know, and firms at this point that are making all sorts of different content for us. And, you know, we're testing and iterating on those things and going from there.
Got it. So a lot of testing from what I'm hearing. UGC, which is user generated content, for those that are not advertising online, you know, from Instagram or TikTok and all this stuff. There's a lot more we can dig into. I know we're running low on time, but it sounds like paid ads, a lot of experimentation. If you had to kind of narrow it down, what was the 1 or 2 ads that worked the best? Like, what is, if you can really, you know, divulge that?
Yeah,
what is that? What is the
best
strategy?
one is best one we've ever done to this day is matcha on one side and coffee on the other.
Simple.
And just hitting the differences. Yep. It's just it's a picture. It's super simple.
Exactly. So for all the people out there that's advertising, KISS with 1 S. I'm not going to say the stupid part, but keep it simple, and then you can imagine what the last word says. Just keep it simple, make it easy, because you're advertising to people all over the country, and people in certain areas of the country may not be as familiar with the product versus some millennial in Beverly Hills that orders matcha every day. So good stuff. Let's get into our next segment, which is called Rapid Fire Questions. Rapid Fire Questions. All right. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions. We'll get a bunch of answers. I think you've watched previous episodes. You may know the questions. Let's pretend you don't know the questions. But if you start acting like you do know it, like you start completing my sentences, I will ask you new questions. So.
Okay. Feel free to mix it up. I'm all for that.
Hell yeah. So I'm not going to ask you matcha or coffee. That one, that might not go over too well here. So
easy answer.
Easy answer. All right. Let's get into it here. 1 minute or less. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet Boys.
First thing you do when you wake up?
Take a shower.
Cool. Not drink matcha?
No, that comes after, right after. I usually do matcha, a green juice, and then I've been taking the seed, which is a symbiotic, and then turkey tail and a reishi tablet in the morning. I think that's the best morning you could possibly have.
That's functionality at its best right there. Reishi, turkey tail, matcha. You must be going at 1,000 miles an hour by the time you sit down at your computer. So
Yeah, and you're feeling really good too.
exactly. It's not like like up, and then crash, right? All right. Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
I would say Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. I actually saw that last year. Yeah, with Samuel Jackson, right?
Yeah, I've probably seen that 5 to 10 times. Love it. Gets me every time.
Yeah, for sure. Tearjerker for sure. Song you can listen to an unlimited amount of times.
This one I would have to say Renegade by Jay-Z and Eminem.
Love it. By the way, going back one question, another movie that kind of Samuel Jackson is a similar type of personality because he has a certain intense personality, kind of angry and yells, and is it's called Changing Lanes with Ben Affleck. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't. I'll check it out though after this.
Really good. Samuel Jackson, Ben Affleck. So before Ben Affleck was an alcoholic, so he's sober in the movie. So was that too below the belt or whatever? All right. So favorite sport to watch?
Basketball.
Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet?
Definitely not Microsoft Teams.
Me too.
Probably Zoom, but just definitely not Microsoft.
It pisses me off that it pisses me off is wrong. It bothers me when I work with a company or an agency where their entire office is synced through Microsoft, right? Like Office and freaking, Outlook. And so they have to use Teams because it's all through Microsoft. Yeah. And I've actually told the office, I will not hold meetings with you unless it's on Zoom. I've actually said that to them.
That's good. I should do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's me, one guy against like 30 people in an office. It doesn't end well, but at least I get to share my true feelings.
Yeah.
What is your spirit animal?
Probably like a white tiger.
White tiger, love it, man. That's they're from India, right? White tiger. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just made that up.
I think tigers are from India. I'm sure they come from a few places, but I don't know exactly. Actually, good question.
Yeah. All my education is from Disney movies, and I remember seeing like a white tiger in a Disney movie that took place somewhere in the Middle East. That's that's the length of my education. Window seat or an aisle seat on an airplane?
Oh, aisle every time. I'm 6'6". I basically almost need an aisle.
You're 6'6"?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I never knew that about you, and obviously from this video, there's no way I would know. Your chair is very low or something.
Yeah, it's pretty low. And but my co-founder is 7'1", so I sometimes get stuck next to him. But it's pretty unbelievable when we go to like a flight together. Everyone thinks I'm like 5'10" when I'm standing next to him.
Exactly.
It's blows people's minds. Yeah.
It's like pales in comparison. Are you guys like ex-NBA players that started a matcha company or something? Is that part of the story?
No, that would be very cool. But we both played volleyball at UCLA, so that's where the hype comes in.
Nice, love it. Peanut butter. That's an amazing thing right there. 2 tall co-founders. I've never seen that. Peanut butter or almond butter or neither?
I kind of like them both, actually. I'm going to say both. Almond butter is great. I like almond butter on toast and stuff, but can't go wrong with the PB&J.
Exactly. Omnivore, flexitarian, vegetarian, or vegan?
Flexitarian for sure.
Cold weather or hot weather?
Hot. Stay away from cold as much as you can.
It's LA, baby. LeBron James or MJ?
LeBron easily.
Easily.
Yeah. Just anyone who likes Jordan watching that, feel free to shoot me a message and we can talk about it.
I think we're going to have a separate show, like a follow-up episode where people just call in to debate you about what you just said.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for it. Bring it on.
Let's do it. We'll have like 80 people on from LinkedIn, So
yeah, exactly.
And anyone that's from Chicago will be first in line to be like, I'm gonna
get out of here.
Yeah, like
I love MJ too, obviously, but
yeah, LeBron.
I grew up watching LeBron.
Yep, that's all it takes, man. And he's got amazing stats, easily almost matched or better than MJ. So ginger or turmeric?
Ginger.
Cool.
I like the punch. You take a strong ginger shot.
You feel it right away, right? So last question. Great. Favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island? You cannot say Tenzo. You cannot say Genius Juice. You cannot say Ouroboros. I know you invested in them. I can't think of others. There's others on your LinkedIn, but you can't say those three.
Favorite food or drink?
On a deserted island.
I don't know, like tea. Does tea count?
Tea? Yeah, I mean, it's, matcha can be tea, but if it's a non-matcha tea,
different
good.
Enough.
There we go. Yeah, it's kind of a Venn. Yeah. It's kind of overlap, but it could be separate. There you go.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe like a sencha or something.
Exactly.
Like the Itoen teas, the green tea bottles and the RTDs, those are really good.
Yeah, Itoen right there. So that is Rapid Fire Questions with Steve Odell, co-founder, CEO, 6'6", Tenzo Matcha. Make sure to go to his website. It's just tenzo.com, tenzomatcha.com.
TenzoTea.co.
TenzoTea.co. Okay, I got it wrong both times. And it's the first time ever that we've invited anyone on that is taller than me. So you've already broken one record here. So
amazing. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Oh, let's go play some basketball sometime.
You will crush me because I have no weight. I'm like 165, man. You'll just pummel me in the key. So
yeah, maybe. We'll see. But also, you got to take me out to play some golf sometime. I want to come play with you.
That is something that I can agree to playing. I'll be scared on the basketball side, but golf, that one's good for me. So yeah, man, we'll do it. Los Verdes Golf Course in Palos Verdes. That's one of the best ones. But anyway, man, more to catch up on offline for sure. But Steve, thanks for joining us in episode 90. Great to hear your story, and congrats on all your success and great product, man. Keep it up.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate it.
Got it. Have a wonderful night. All right. So again, that is episode 90 of 15 Minutes of Genius. Make sure to check us out on Apple Podcast and also on Spotify. We release these episodes on LinkedIn and YouTube every Tuesday and Friday. And also big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net for all your editing desires. He is awesome. Make sure to reach out to this guy. The size of his beard is as good as his editing skills. So that tells you something right there. So again, episode 90 in the books. And one last thing, stay matcha man and genius, my friends. Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.